This person is trying to decide whether to return, and that choice is not far off in the future. It is happening now, maybe even tonight, in some quiet place where your name keeps rising into their thoughts. This is not random, and neither is the fact that you are here reading this at this exact moment. Something has changed. Something deep has started moving, and you were drawn here because you were meant to understand that change before more time slips by in confusion. What most people never explain is this. When someone honestly feels they may have lost you, their inner world does not simply settle down and accept it. It starts reaching back toward you. It tries to reconnect with your presence. In this message, I'm going to walk you through how that happens, how it appears, how it feels, and why it may already be unfolding with this person now. Welcome to Healing Minds, a space where we explore deep emotional connections, inner healing, and the quiet truths of love that stay with us long after the silence begins. If this kind of content speaks to you, please like this video and subscribe to Healing Minds for more heartfelt messages like this. You were not led here by chance. On some level, your spirit was searching for clarity, and that search brought you here. There is meaning in timing, and this message found you exactly when it was supposed to. What this person feels for you is not routine, not convenience, not some leftover attachment that stayed alive out of habit. It is love, real love. The kind that refuses to fade just because someone tries to ignore it or bury it. The kind that keeps coming back, even after being pushed down again and again. Simple admiration does not pull someone awake in the middle of the night. Habit does not make a person type out a message, erase it, rewrite it, and still hesitate to send it. What keeps showing up inside them is love. Love does not obey fear. It continues to live, no matter how hard someone tries to silence it. You need to remind yourself of something clearly and honestly. You were not making this up. The bond you felt was real. The energy between you was real. It was not something you invented because you were lonely or hoping for more. It existed, and it still exists. Put your hand over your chest for a moment and feel the warmth there. That feeling is not meaningless. That same warmth is what rises in them when something suddenly reminds them of you. It could be a certain song, a street you once walked, a phrase you used often, or a memory that appears without warning. That energy moves both ways. It always has. The universe has seen it from the beginning. It has watched every unspoken feeling, every silent thought, every night your name stayed with them even when they had nowhere to place it. And you were brought here tonight because something is forming behind the silence. There is more happening beneath the surface than either you or they may fully realize. The choice they are wrestling with is not only coming from thoughts they can explain, it is coming from somewhere deeper, somewhere the mind cannot easily control. That is why this moment matters. They have noticed the shift. They noticed when your energy changed. They noticed when you stopped reaching the same way. They felt the absence, even if they never admitted it aloud. And that matters more than you think. A person who truly does not care does not sit in indecision. They do not linger. They do not keep turning the situation over in their mind. They simply move on. But that is not what is happening here. This person is not walking away with ease. They are standing in a difficult space, looking back, fighting something powerful inside themselves. People only struggle that hard when what is at stake matters deeply. And in this case, you are what matters. When the inner self believes it may be losing someone important, it rarely rushes in directly at first. It tries to move closer in quieter ways. It looks for openings without making itself too vulnerable. So the first thing it often does is send small, indirect signs, tiny signals. It checks on you quietly. It looks for your name, then comes back again later to do it another time. It views something you posted and stays with it longer than expected, even if there is no visible reaction. It finds an older post, something buried weeks back, the kind of thing no one stumbles onto unless they were looking. It asks about you in a way that sounds casual, but is not truly casual at all. It slips your name into a conversation where it did not really belong. It lets itself be seen for a second, just enough to brush against your awareness, and then disappears again. That is not absence. That is someone circling the connection. They are trying to understand whether the space between you is still open. They are measuring whether it feels safe to step closer. That is why the next stage often looks inconsistent. They go quiet, then suddenly reappear. Days pass, maybe even longer, and then something small arrives. A light message, a simple observation, a comment that looks ordinary on the surface but carries intention underneath. They may send something that seems accidental, but the timing is far too exact to be accidental. They may bring up a shared memory as if it just crossed their mind, when in truth they chose it carefully. What they are really doing is testing the connection. They want to know whether you still feel reachable. They want to know if the version of you who once met them halfway is still there. They are searching for any sign that the emotional door has not fully closed. And when those quiet efforts do not give them enough certainty, when they still cannot tell whether they have been felt, noticed, or received, something more honest begins to slip through. The truth starts showing itself in fragments, a message that says very little on the surface but holds much more underneath, a question that did not truly need to be asked, a sentence that starts out simple and harmless, then lands with unexpected emotional weight. This is often the point where their inner conflict becomes harder to hide. The careful distance begins to break. Their words may still seem controlled, but the feeling behind them becomes more visible. That is because what they are carrying can only stay buried for so long. When love has been pushed down but never gone away, it eventually starts finding its own way back to the surface, and that may be exactly what is happening now. Sometimes the truth slips out disguised as something small, a light comment, a casual sentence, a moment that seems harmless on the surface but carries much more underneath. That is not weakness. That is love trying to find a way through the wall they built. They go back to your last message and read it more than once. They notice the time it was sent. They put the phone down, then pick it up again. They open your name, stare at the empty message box, write something, erase it, and sit there in silence. Then they return and do it all over again. They scroll through old conversations, going farther back than they meant to, stopping at certain lines you once said, and lingering there. That is not someone who has let go. That is someone wrestling with feelings stronger than their own attempts to stay away. What exists between you was not something shallow or temporary. It was placed there with meaning. And something that real does not just vanish because time passed or silence took over. What began between you is still moving, still alive, still unfolding beneath everything unsaid. The distance did not erase it. The quiet did not end it. What they feel is not practical or easy to explain. It does not follow logic, and it does not disappear on command. Simple admiration cannot keep a person awake deep into the night. Love can. Love does that. It lingers, it presses, it refuses to be controlled. Touch your wrist and feel your pulse for a second. That steady rhythm has kept going through every day of this silence, just like their feelings have. Even when they tried to bury it, replace it, or convince themselves it was finished, it kept living under everything. During the day, they may seem completely fine. They answer messages, go where they need to go, speak normally, and move through life as if everything is under control. But nighttime is different. Night strips away the performance. At night, truth gets louder. They lie there awake while the room goes still, and your name becomes harder to outrun. 1 hour passes, then another, and they are still caught between the urge to reach for you and the fear of what that might open. The empty space beside them feels heavier than it should. They know it is just silence, just a pillow, just a room, but something inside them reacts as if your absence has weight. When the world goes quiet, there is no distraction left. There is only memory, longing, and the truth they spend all day trying to manage but never fully can. Even sleep does not free them from it. Dreams tell the truth that waking thoughts try to hide. In those dreams, you are close again. You are there in places that feel both strange and familiar, speaking, smiling, laughing in the exact way only you do. It is not a blurred version of you. It is you, clear and present, warm and real. For a few seconds after waking, they forget the silence between you. For a brief moment, it feels like nothing was lost. Then reality returns, and the distance settles back in. That is when the struggle begins again. Their body reacts before their mind has time to explain anything. Their throat tightens when your name comes up. Their chest warms when something reminds them of you. Their breathing changes. Their hands become still. The body remembers what the mind tries to deny, and it has been remembering you this whole time. They have told themselves every explanation they could find. They said it was over. They said life moves on. They said you were simply a part of the past and that the past should stay there. They tried to believe that time would weaken everything, that missing you was only routine, that habits could be broken and empty spaces eventually filled. They repeated to themselves that they made the right choice, that they were fine, that what remained was only nostalgia wearing the mask of something deeper. But none of those explanations truly held. They were attempts to make their feelings smaller, easier, safer. The truth remained the same underneath every excuse. What they feel for you is real love. You did not invent that, and you did not imagine it because you wanted it to be true. It was real from the start, and it is still real now. They noticed the shift in you more than you realize. They noticed when you stopped waiting in the same way. They noticed when your energy pulled back and the old pattern changed. That affected them. It made something in them wake up. And if they could speak with no fear, no pride, and no walls between you, their truth would sound something like this. I think about you at night more than I want to admit. I did not expect that. I tried to end this in my mind, and I thought I meant it. I told myself it was done. But deciding something is over and actually feeling it end are not the same thing. A person can choose distance and still carry love. A person can walk away and still be unable to quiet what lives inside them. That is the place they are standing in now, and that is why this moment feels so charged. I tried to shut this down. I really did. I used every distraction I could find. I packed my days so tightly that there was no room to think, and I filled my nights with enough noise to keep the silence away. Still, none of it changed the one thing I could not escape. You stayed with me. You are still with me. You are there at the end of the day, at the beginning of the next one, and in all the quiet spaces in between. I miss you in ways I cannot even explain properly. Not only the big things, but the smallest ones too. The way you said my name in your own voice. The way you listened when I spoke, like my words mattered, like I mattered. I have not felt that kind of attention, that kind of presence, from anyone else since you. I remember more than I want to admit. I remember the way you looked at me, the last time I saw your face, the clothes you wore, the exact words you said, and the words I said back. I replay that moment more than I should, always wishing I had answered differently, always wishing I had done something better before the silence took over. I remember quiet mornings with you. I remember evenings that looked ordinary from the outside but felt full and alive because you were in them. I remember what it was like to be close to you without pretending, without performing, without trying to become someone else just to be loved. With you, I felt enough exactly as I was. And now those memories stay with me no matter how hard I try to push them away. I cannot seem to lose even one of them. The deepest fear underneath everything else is simple. I am afraid it is already too late. I am afraid you have truly moved beyond this. I am afraid you found calm without me and no longer need anything I could offer if I came back. I am afraid to reach for you and hear nothing in return. But the truth is, I am also afraid that you would answer. I am afraid of what your voice would stir up in me. I am afraid of seeing your face and instantly understanding the full weight of what I let go. I am afraid I would have to live with that realization all at once. What if I already took everything you had left to give? What if I damaged something that cannot be repaired? What if I come back only to find the door closed and the space I once had in your life is gone? I know I caused pain. I know there were things I should have said and never did. I know some of the choices I made cost you something real, and I did not stay long enough to face what that cost actually looked like. I know I have no right to miss you as deeply as I do after all of that, but I miss you anyway. I miss you without relief, without pause, and without knowing how to stop. It keeps happening no matter what I tell myself, and maybe that is the hardest truth of all. I feel like I am losing the one person I should have fought harder to keep. That awareness sits underneath every thought, every hesitation, every moment of silence. It is not just regret. It is the knowledge that something real was placed in my hands, and I did not protect it the way I should have. What you need to understand now is that the choice they believe they are making with their mind goes deeper than thought. They may think this is about logic, timing, pride, fear, or personal control, but it is not only that. The real answer lives beneath all of it, in a place where the soul speaks louder than fear ever can. Some connections are recognized at a level deeper than reason, and once that recognition happens, it does not simply disappear because one person tried to walk away. What was placed between you was not accidental. It carried meaning from the beginning, and fear, no matter how loud it becomes, does not erase what was set in motion. Their mind may still be trying to sort through everything, but something deeper has already chosen. The truth existed long before they fully understood it. In many ways, the answer was already there before the question ever formed. So the silence you are seeing now is not proof that you were forgotten. It is not the silence of someone who no longer feels anything. It is the silence of someone trying to gather the courage to act on something they already know inside themselves. It is the silence of carrying emotions too heavy to ignore and too powerful to put down. You were never the mistake in this story. You were never the burden. You were the part that was true. You were the answer they keep circling back to, whether they say it or not. This bond does not vanish just because one person stops speaking for a while. It still exists because it was real. It still lives because it was placed there with purpose. And what is real at that level does not disappear just because fear delays what the heart already understands. Something has changed in you too, and that change matters. You may not have fully named it yet, but you can feel it. The part of you that once shook with uncertainty has started to steady. The part that kept reaching has grown quiet. The part that waited and watched and hoped in the same old way has begun to loosen its grip. And in that new stillness, something important has entered. Space, strength, a different kind of peace. What once filled every corner of your attention no longer owns you in the same way. You are not collapsing under the silence anymore. You are not chasing what refuses to come clearly. That shift is powerful. It changes the energy completely. Because when someone stops chasing, the truth becomes harder to avoid. And that may be exactly why the next step no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the one who now has to decide whether they are brave enough to return. There was a time when every sound from your phone could shake something inside you. You would feel that quick rush of hope, then the drop in your chest when it was not them. You used to go back over old conversations, replaying every exchange, searching for the exact point where everything changed. You read old messages like they might still contain an answer you missed the first 100 times. You measured every word they said and every word you answered with. You bent yourself out of shape, trying to make more room for someone who kept pulling away. You apologized when you had done nothing wrong. You explained your heart to someone who was no longer truly listening. You kept the door open even when standing there was draining you. You carried the emotional weight for both of you long after the connection had stopped carrying you back. Then, quietly, something in you ended that pattern. You stopped waiting around for a message that might never come. You stopped treating your phone like it held the final verdict on your worth. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit inside the emptiness they left behind. You stopped turning silence into excuses that protected them while hurting you. You stopped defending things that should never have needed defending. You stopped tying your value to their timing, their attention, or their ability to choose you. You stopped pleading, stopped bargaining, and stopped standing in the cold with the door open for someone unwilling to walk through it. You even stopped displaying your pain in the hope that someone might finally understand it. And in that stopping, something powerful happened. You came back to yourself, not because anyone returned, not because anything was fixed for you, but because you chose your own peace and finally decided that your life belonged to you again. That choice changed everything. It changed your mornings, it changed your nights, it changed the energy you carried without you needing to announce it to anyone. You became whole on your own, and that may be the most important shift in this entire story. Even from a distance, they felt it. They may not be able to describe it clearly, but they know the version of you who used to wait by the window is not there anymore. They can feel the difference, and that difference unsettles something in them. When the inner self realizes it may truly be losing someone, it begins to reach back. First come the small signs, the quiet signals, the view, the old like, the name mentioned where it did not have to be. Then comes the testing, the silence followed by something casual that is not casual at all. And after that, the truth begins slipping through in short messages, small openings, and questions that carry more than they seem to. That pattern is not random. It begins because they noticed your change. And once they noticed it, something inside them had nowhere to rest. Spiritually, this is the moment some would call a threshold, the point where you stop standing at the door, hoping to be chosen, and instead become the one who chooses yourself completely. You crossed into that space, even if you did not realize the exact moment it happened. The universe saw every step that brought you there, the signs around you, the repeated numbers, the familiar songs, the strange timing of certain reminders. All of it feels meaningful because on some level, it is. It can feel as though life keeps echoing the connection back to both of you. Not to confuse you, but to show that movement is still happening. Love has a strange paradox to it. The moment you stop chasing is often the moment your energy becomes strongest. The moment you stop needing becomes the moment your presence becomes undeniable. You did not heal in order to pull them back. You healed because you deserved your own wholeness. But a transformation that real changes the field around it. Sit still for a second and feel the steadiness in your body. That groundedness is not small. That is who you are now. And that steadiness is rare. It is the very thing they cannot easily replace because what you gave them was not ordinary. No one else carries your exact energy, your exact warmth, your exact way of being present. That is not fantasy. That is the truth of what made this bond matter. And beyond even this person, there is something larger holding you. The same force that keeps stars burning, tides moving, and worlds turning has also held you through every quiet morning, every long night, and every moment you questioned whether any of this was real. You are part of something wider than fear and deeper than silence. So be gentle with yourself now. Place your hands against your face and feel your own presence there. Let your body remind your mind who you have become. You are no longer the person trapped in waiting. You are the person standing ready, and readiness carries its own pull. It has been forming inside you since the very first day the silence began. Maybe what comes next will be simple, just a few words sent without warning. Maybe it will be a look, a moment, or a return from a direction you stopped watching long ago. Maybe it will arrive when you are no longer bracing for it at all. But whatever form it takes, you are not standing frozen at the old doorway anymore. You are already in open space. And open space has a way of being filled by what truly belongs there, through every unseen tear, every private prayer, every quiet act of grace, and every day you chose not to become bitter. You were seen. You were always seen. You have always been seen. Not for one moment has the universe turned away from you. Nothing about this connection was imagined. The love was real. The bond was real. What you felt from the first moment and everything that followed was real. You were never foolish for loving deeply, and you were never weak for feeling it fully. You were simply someone who gave their heart honestly, without holding back. And that is not a flaw. That is something rare. Life did not diminish you. Everything you lived through shaped you into someone even more uncommon, even more valuable. And that is exactly what they are now standing in front of, trying to gather the courage to face. Their fear belongs to them. Their hesitation is part of their own path. Their timing, their lessons, and the courage they still need to find are all theirs to carry. None of that weight belongs to you now. Their choices are theirs. Their story is theirs. Your peace belongs to you. Your healing belongs to you. Your life, in all its fullness, belongs completely to you. No decision they make can take away what you have built inside yourself. No silence from them can undo the ground you have gained. What awakened in you is real, and no outside uncertainty can remove it. Something lasting was placed within you, something intentional, something meant to remain. You are no longer standing outside yourself, waiting for permission to feel whole. You are the place where peace begins. You are the turning point. You are the threshold you once thought you were searching for somewhere else. And now you are ready to recognize that fully. You do not need someone else's return to confirm your worth. You already carry what you were seeking. Sometimes the right words arrive when the heart is finally ready to receive them. Pass this message to someone else who may be carrying this quietly, someone who has been holding their pain in silence and needs to be reminded that what they felt was true. Let it reach the person who needs comfort tonight, the person who needs to hear that their love was real and that they have not been forgotten. And if these words spoke to something deep inside you, stay connected to Healing Minds, because every message here is for the person who is done living in uncertainty and ready to stand firmly in their own strength. You are not stuck in waiting anymore. You are complete. You are acknowledged. You are deeply loved. And life already knows where this story goes next. The deeper lesson here is not only about whether someone comes back. It is about what the experience teaches you about your own emotional standards. It asks you to notice how long you were willing to stand in uncertainty. It asks you to see the ways you may have overextended yourself for someone who gave less and less back. It reveals how often people confuse endurance with love, when sometimes endurance is just pain wearing the face of devotion. Loving someone deeply is not the problem. Losing yourself while loving them is the problem. That is why the strongest turning point in this kind of story is not the return of the other person. It is the moment you realize you do not want to abandon yourself anymore just to keep a connection alive. If this message spoke to your heart, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Healing Minds, and comment "Seen" below so I know this message found the people who truly needed it.